Howdy and welcome on back to East Texas Now. I'm Hannah Johnson, joined by our very own April Perdant. And of course, we're talking to the ESD2 Fire Chief. What are we talking to him specifically about?
Yes, so he is the division chief of training, Clanton.
Okay.
And he mentioned to me a little bit about, yesterday they were doing a yesterday they started a burn ban. And so because of this, before that, there was a lot of fires, and especially on Monday, it was just horrendous with
It
the
was
amount
awful.
of fires that they were doing. So he was telling us that there's just not enough. I mean, they have a whole fire team and stuff, and they could also bring in people from other counties, but the amount of fires that they were happening, they couldn't handle them all at once, and so that's why they placed in a burn ban because of that, and also because of the heat. You can't be burning anything because of that. Literally, something it can spark it, ignite it, and all of a sudden you have literally
Yes.
a wildfire going on. So yeah, he just mentioned to me how important it is for people to really be on top of this burn ban and really know the causes and effects of that for sure.
Okay, so a lot of things that we need to be thinking of right now, especially with how dry our conditions are. Let's get to it now.
Yeah, so we're in a flash drought, really. We haven't had any substantial rainfall in over 30 days. So the fuel or the grass and brush and the wooded areas is drying out. And so we're arriving at a point where, because of that lack of rainfall, the brush and things like that are just very receptive to any type of ignition. Something very minor, a trailer bearing or something like that that overheats could actually start fires, dragging chains, any of those kinds of things. With that, we have a very dry air mass that's setting in here with low relative humidity values. That creates a little increased concern for us as it relates to fire behavior. So you sort of have, several components coming together that create the fire danger that we're in. We've been fortunate not to have a lot of substantial wind, and I would be concerned about that if we do arrive at a day where we have some wind. When we arrive at fires, we start looking for, homes and things of that nature that could be in danger. And some of the things that we see is areas that are not well kept. So a lot of brush and grass that is not mowed up close to the homes, maybe gutters that have not been cleaned out, houses that are in pine plantations that have a lot of pine straw and things like that on the roof. Those are all very problematic and very concerning. And it really goes a long way in protecting your home to have defendable space, is what we refer to that as. So keeping the yard well kept, keeping the roofs clean, the gutters clean, the brush a good distance, at least 200 feet from the house, trimmed back and well kept, really allows us to defend a home in the event that there is a wildfire. These kinds of things are prevention, really ahead of the game, just maintenance, and really reduces the opportunity for someone to get damaged or even lose their home in a wildfire situation. Well, one thing I would say is to maintain a lot of patience. We are in an increased fire danger situation. To the north of us today is extreme fire danger. We're in very high, and I suspect that parts of Smith County probably share that extreme fire danger. The burn ban is obviously a strong suggestion to not burn and not to do outdoor activities that could contribute to fire spread. But things like welding, shredding, mowing, all can also create problems in these conditions. Just be very aware. If you see any smoke at all, absolutely call 911 and get us moving. We have a lot of things in place to get there quickly and change the program, but it does require a team effort. We can only do so much, but there's a lot to be accomplished with prevention, maybe putting off some projects to a more appropriate time, and keeping your yards and your homes safer by doing a little maintenance and cleaning up around them. All those things together really can make for a better situation in the event that we do have something going on.
So again, while this burn ban is now in place. It is just one of many right now in East Texas. In fact, let me take you over to our website where we can see that full list together. I'm going to share my screen with you now, kind of to show you where you can find this information and how you can get more details. And of course, showing you that here on your screen now, our KLTV website. We just talked about the PFAS right here. But I want to take you over to our 7-day forecast. We'll talk about this. I know you see it in red over here. We'll talk about that in a moment. But going now to our 7-day, here you can see not only a written but a video form of our forecast with our meteorologist, Emily Edwards. Let's scroll down. Scroll. And here we can see the forecast broken down into various key points, right? The big takeaways. I want us to look at our burn bans. We have more burn bans we have more East Texas counties with burn bans than without. Starting from the top, working my way to the bottom, I'm going to say them all. I know. Delta, Hunt, Morris, Cass, Kaufman, Van Zant, Wood, Upshur, Marin, Henderson, Smith, Gregg, Harrison, Anderson, Cherokee, Rusk, Panola, Houston, Nacogdoches, Shelby, Trinity, Angelina, San Augustine, Sabine. Let's see here. Did I say Trinity? Oh, I'm going to say it again if I didn't. Polk, Tyler, and Newton counties all under burn bans right now. Taking you back to that screen that had all those graphics, let's break it down on why they're all in place. You can see here the fire danger that we have, this weird snake-like shape in the middle of our screen. That's going to be your extreme. Then that orange color just circling around it is that very high. You have a little bit down here just south of Deep East Texas. The yellow is high, and then we have some moderate spots towards the center in Deep East Texas. So again, there's no low on here. Just want to point that out. There's no low risk. Everyone is seeing some kind of risk, whether it's moderate to extreme, right? Somewhere in the middle. But again, this is why we're seeing all of these burn bans come forward. We've also haven't seen rain. A lot of dead vegetation out there. I know I'm constantly having to water my plants outside, so I'm not sure what you're going through at your house, but that's what we're seeing at our house. Here is showing you the current drought monitor. Of course, you know every Thursday we get a new one, so tomorrow this could change. Maybe it won't. It truly depends on what our officials are kind of going through and looking at the data, but again, that's something I'm going to be on the lookout for come tomorrow. Here you can see East Texas is seeing a mixture of both dry and moderate conditions. Now, it's not into the extreme yet, but again, that's something that we're keeping an eye out for. Will it change? Will this move? Again, your next drought monitor is coming out tomorrow, and we'll talk more about that there. Let's go ahead now and look at our tower cameras to see how we're faring. I know we have our chief meteorologist joining us in the next 3 minutes to highlight what our forecast is looking like today. So here's a look outside, and this is going to show you a very consistent view